Captain's log. It has been 100 days and I still cannot find this fucking room. 30 bucks to start with. Not bad, not bad. We'll start with the den. Oh, and I already see a lockbox. Hopefully we'll find a sledgehammer. Breakfast nook, because why the fuck not? Why the fuck wouldn't I, rather? And we shall do a utility closet here. Sometimes that trick works, sometimes it does not. We can do the shelter, we can do a tool shed, or we can do the trading post. The trading post was meh. So we're gonna go with... I think we're gonna go with... We'll go with the shelter. I don't know. I'll have to look that part up. So, 100 days from November is February 15th. 15th, 10 a.m., we'll say. And there is a way to check the time as well. So it's currently 9 o'clock. And it will stay open for up to 4 hours. So we'll start exploring the rest of the house for now, and then we'll come back. We won't go too far. Also, gem. We'll do a bedroom here. And we'll do a hallway here. Two extra steps. And a key. So that works. From here, we'll do the gymnasium. We're gonna lose some steps, but that's fine. Oh wait, no we won't, because I turned off the light. I'm smart. I didn't eat my breakfast. I'm a bad girl. We'll do the security room here. Nothing good for me here. But we will also enter the key system. Change it to low. And change that to God damn it. I keep doing that. There. Now it's good. Now we'll return to the front and turn off the thing. Before we do that, we're gonna open these doors. We'll do the spare room. Back here. Oh wow. That was a lot faster than I expected it to be. So we'll do a little bit more. Well, actually, you know what? To play it safe, we're gonna go back to the shelter and we'll just wait.
5 minutes later.
Also, how did 3 people survive in this tiny fucking space? And with only 1 chair for the computer. Did everybody else just hang out on the bed?
A few moments later.
Yeah, it's after 10. What the fuck? Try that then. Oh, we got the compass. And the letter D. So that's good. We'll do the chapel. We're sheltered from it. From here, we'll do an office. No, we can't do an office because, again, we don't have any gems. So what I think we'll do is we'll do a closet here, see if we can get some items. A reroll and a gem. We'll do the dark room. And that's 3 rooms sheltered. So beyond that, any red rooms, we will have to deal with the consequences. We'll do a parlor room from here. And a courtyard. Ah! We has a sledgehammer. Sadly, no shovel, but that's okay. Do the weight room. Yeah. Guest bedroom. Get it back. Do a kennel here. But we'll do the parlor room first. The box next to this box contains gems. Box next to this box is true. Only one statement is true. Yay! Gambled and I won. No, we're not doing the archives. We'll do an aquarium here. Hi, puppies. We'll use the last key. And use the commissary. He has the money. Ooh, I can buy a shovel. Thank you. Also do the salt shaker. And a sleeping mask. That'll give us even more steps. We'll do the library. Gives us the magnifying glass as well. And now we're going to backtrack a little bit because we're running low on steps. No, we're pretty much boned, I think. But we could try. We could try. Oh. Didn't even see this there. Cool. We can get to the bedroom. We might cheese it. Yeah, we cheesed it a little bit. Yeah, we did. Okay. We'll do a boudoir for the steps. And another gem. Let's reroll. Do the observatory. Keep forgetting this room also gives another free gem. A sail, a key, and we'll get more gems today. Not that it really matters because we're running low on steps. Because of my dumbassery. That's fine. Here we'll do a nursery. Again, we are in dire need of steps, guys. We'll do a dining room. Yep. That's what I was banking on. He needs pizza today. That's a healthier number. So from down, do the patio. That's our last gem. That's okay, because we gambled and we won. We got another key. And a boot. And another key and another gem. That was a good gamble. Well, this is going to be a dead end regardless, so we'll leave that for now. We shall do East Wing because that's the only way we can progress up. And we'll do the boiler room here. Use a key. Conference room it is, because I'm not doing fucking archives. And this is going to be a dead end, unfortunately. So we'll do a morning room. For more gems. Better starting gems for tomorrow. And a free item. This room usually comes with an item. Very rare that it does not. We'll do the bunk room because it'll double us up on steps. And we got 2 free gems from it, so we were rewarded doubly. Okay, so now we have to do some backtracking. Yes, we can also do some digging. Ah, metal detector and shovel. Oh, I think that does the dowsing rod, which I think I found before. We have a workshop, so we can take a look. No, wait, no, we can't because we don't have a metal detector. Womp womp. We got a coin here. And a coin here. We could potentially buy the thing. We could. Another key. And here's hoping this is the bookstore. Not that I can afford anything right now, but I mean, it is sale technically. Oh, there's the bookshop. We'll take our chances. We'll see. I doubt it, but one can hope. We can actually afford the Curse of the Black Bridge, so we'll take that. And then the other 2 were pretty discounted as well because of the sale. We'll have to hope that we get that lucky next time. But we now actually have a book that we can order for the library, so we're gonna do that real quick. Curse of the Black Bridge. There we go. Been a while since we've been able to read a book. Next up is the conservatory. Wasn't even worth it. So we've got the silver key. Okay. Make this... Oh, no. We'll make this one commonplace. Make this one... standard. Yeah, this one's like the least bad of the red rooms, I think. Even though it costs you gold, that's like the worst that it can do. So I'm not as concerned. We'll do the rumpus room just because it gives you gold. Even though we can't talk to what's his face again anymore. We can do that much. Yeah, see, won't even give me the option to give him money. So now we can backtrack to the aquarium. Another key and another gem. And some more coin. Because this is already a dead end, we will do a walk-in closet. Oh, running shoes. Another key. The telescope. And a gem. Oh, cool. How far are we from the observatory, actually? Oh, we're pretty far. Never mind. And we shall do... pantry? So there's no point in doing elaborate... Well... Yeah, there's really no point in doing a laboratory. We'll do the kitchen. Okay. 14. So 4 divided by 0 and 8 is 8. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Next up. So the solution for this one is 1. And this solution is 6. Well, it says it should be 6. Okay, let's... I know what I did. And this one should also be 2. There we go. Ha! Key card. Not that we actually needed this. Okay. First things first. So it said the shovel... No, I don't have the thing that I need. Never mind. Magnifying glass. Never mind. It's fine. Let's go to the observation tower. I don't think it's going to be a bigger sale. So, I'm not going to bother with the books. Still can't open this door, so we're going to call it. Well, we managed to make the Garden Inn with 5 green rooms and 7 bedrooms. We reached a total of 40 rooms. We reached rank 9. We took 135 steps, and we found 11 items. What I originally thought was going to be a shit show because we were running so low on days got saved. So that goes to show that rooms, just because you think you're screwed doesn't necessarily mean you are. Breakfast nook. Always the breakfast nook. We'll do a storeroom here. And we'll do a parlor here. And we will... I think we'll do the root cellar. Checking to see if there's any knobs or anything that I can pull for the flames map. I guess not. Oh, I didn't even see this. So, Baron Thomas Sinclair with Baroness Arevel, Herbert Sinclair, Simon H. Sinclair, Clara Epson, Lord William Epson, Lady Ashlyn, Lionel Epson, the Epsons and Sinclairs, and then Mary Epson. And then following that is me. So I guess mom's last name was Epson. Missed out on some lore the last time I was there. I'm not impressed with that. That being said, I'm kind of dumb, so we'll start with the Nook. Yeah, the courtyard is a good shout here. Ooh, sledgehammer. And we'll do a morning room here. And we'll do a laboratory here. And grabs the car keys. Maybe we'll do the garage. And then check to see if anything is new and exciting in the trunk of the car. From here, we'll do security. And we'll do our usual shtick. There we go. Now what we need is a closet to turn off the keycard access. I know I said I might do the garage. However, I also want to progress. So we're going to go with the bedroom first. Yes, I am a filthy hypocrite. Okay. So no gifts for me. What do you got for me? Experiment setup. Next time you unlock a trunk, or the next 3 times you unlock a trunk, whenever you draft a shop, each time you eat an apple. We're gonna aim for all of the shit. I mean, technically we could permanently add gold to the allowance, but I think we're gonna do the spread dirt on the driveway. And we're gonna bank on picking up the goddamn shovel. So corridor. We'll do a den here. Nice value at low cost. We'll do a pantry here. We'll do the west wing here. Game, that's not nice. Thought I had a guaranteed apple there. Because we've nerfed the gymnasium, we can use it. And we'll do a closet here. Could have done the steps. But I've been instantly rewarded with a shovel. Oh, and running shoes. Running shoes are always a We're going to open this door, and then I think what we're going to do is we're going to do some backtracking. Because there is... well, actually, you know what? We'll leave it for now. There's plenty of shit to dig up, but we'll dig it up later. So, we are more likely to find flowers. We've got another key. Apples are more delicious. There are a pair of trunks at the front. We've got 3 steps, and we get an extra gem. Not bad. Not bad at all. Got a key. Got a coin. And nothing else. From here we'll do a hallway. And you know what? We'll do a nursery here, which will provide us with a gem. We'll do a terrace, actually. That fits nicely. Oh, look at that. Of our 7 keys, we're actually using 1. I think we're gonna go with the boiler room. And from here, we'll do a patio. Yeah, we'll do a patio. Because now that will spread some, that'll spread gems around the house. I'm just checking to see if the root cellar activated in here, and it didn't. We'll do an office here. That'll give us back a gem. And now we can spread gold to the estate. So that means rooms will also have gold. Sadly, this is going to be a dead end because the rooms aren't cooperating. So we're going to do the gallery just because it gives us some money, it gives us gems, and it also gives us the key to the number 8 room. And the number 8 room will help us increase our allowance. So we'll get 32 instead of 30. Take a gem. Got a brick. And a coin. Coin. And a brick. Wonderful. Coin. My god, game, you're getting stingy. Like 1 coin, really. And a turnip. That means we got extra steps. Technically, we wasted all those steps because we could have just gone back to the patio room. So we're going to do that now. And we got some stuffs to dig. The pebbles. And nothing. I don't think it's going to fit. Yeah, no, didn't think so. So we're going to do the library. We're going to pick up the coupon book. And we're going to read The Curse of the Black Bridge. Yes, yesterday was February 15th. So what the hell, game? Forward. The legend of Black Bridge is one that's well known to the people of the Grand Realm, for versions of this tale have been passed down for generations to generations. With each new telling, the story has changed, becoming over the years more colorful, more verbose, and as one might expect, increasingly horrifying. However, with so many renditions and unique personal touches, the task of confining and finding this tale to text seems an ambitious and impossible challenge. Over the course of my research, I have heard dozens of variations of the legend, and while the details would often change, I was surprised how much of the story's heart remained the same. Yet the more I listened, the clearer it became that there could never be a definitive version of this tale capable of capturing all the wonder and myth of Black Bridge. In the end, I chose to write down what felt most authentic. The story my grandmother told me as a boy long ago. Part 1. The Berry Picker from Oris. Many years ago, before peace had become a familiar word, there lived a group of rogues so wayward that the locals deemed it appropriate to call their number the Unholy Hounds. They were feral outlaws composed of society's worst in a time when society was at its worst, and for each crime that fearful travelers credited to the group, a dozen more lay unclaimed, each worse than the last. For the gentry, however, who often value their coffers more than their companions, no crime could measure more wicked than the group's primary enterprise: high road robbery. One such member of this so-called band of rogues was a boy of 13 years, Jesper, who had not been lucky in life, having lost 2 brothers to war and parents to famine. In the years of hunger that followed, Jesper lived in a gutter behind a churchyard, relying on the nourishment of scurrying bugs and weeds harvested from the cracks of the alleyway to sustain his pitiful existence. It is not surprising that a child aiming to escape such hardships would take an easy road out. An easy and well-traveled road, paved with temptation, leading out of the city and into the gentrylands, where loose purse strings entwined with the strands of salvation and glisten equally with the hope of opportunity. It was this road that eventually led Jasper to the end of his youth, a hidden cave at the bottom of Black Bridge Canyon. It was here that he met his surrogate family and saviors, that notorious gang of godless outlaws known as the Unholy Hound. Despite the hardened circumstances that had led him to this vocation of banditry, Jasper was surprisingly tender-hearted and was often teased by the group for being too kind for such an abnormal life. For this reason, Jasper was assigned the innocent role of berry picker. It was not just innocence that set berry picking apart from the gang's most wickedly undertakings, for it was the only duty performed without the safety of night's concealment. Jasper, no stranger to solitude, did not protest that he alone worked while the others slept soundly, tucked away in the cave at the bottom of Black Bridge Canyon. On one such occasion, Jasper decided to get an early start. He left the cave, berry basket in hand, and set out into the woods before the morning sun had even brushed against the tallest treetops. It was colder in the mornings, but the headway dawn afforded meant Jasper could reach the furthermost berry patches without worrying about being chastised for tarrying upon his return. It took over 3 hours on foot to reach his destination, and along the way, Jasper had passed by many a familiar bush, all priorly pillaged and so bereft of berries that one would have to dedicate several moments in earnest examination before finding a single one. Jasper was patient, but even patience has its limits. He was confident that even accounting for the time lost to this long stretch of travel, his efforts would be well worth the pain. Surveying the patches in this new grove surprised even Jasper. The red dots suspended among the leaves seemed as numerous as stars in the skies. Upon seeing such a bounteous sight, he clutched his berry basket tightly and nearly toppled over out of joy. Once he had regained his senses, Jasper quickly made a decision. He would not reveal the location of this newfound treasure. Instead, he would earn the respect of his confederates who, upon seeing his yield, might attribute the success to hard work. Smiling at his plan, Jasper set off to fill his basket and was making steady strides in the task when the sound of thundering hooves interrupted him. Carriage. The carriage is approaching. Thought of it made Jasper freeze. Had he been so enchanted by his discovery that he had neglected to observe his surroundings? How could a roadway be so close? He ducked down and crept towards the impending sound, hiding behind one of the larger bushes nearby. It was only a moment more before the sound source revealed itself. Within 50 paces of where Jasper hid, an elegant carriage with gold trim came soaring around a corner of trees, led by 2 beautiful white horses and conveyed by a stern-looking driver seated atop the vehicle, flaunting the most sophisticated regalia Jasper had ever seen. It was not just any carriage. It was a royal carriage. Even without ever having witnessed such a sight before, Jasper was certain. The sight had so transfixed Jasper that he stood awestruck, unable to tear away as the carriage approached. The little concealment the bush provided was soon proven unequal to the driver's lofty perch, and upon spotting the boy, he pulled the reins with such effort that the noble steed slid to a sudden halt with precise control. "You, boy, get out from behind that bush," he shouted with a rigidity that betrayed a modest amount of fear. "You startled me half to death, coming round the bend of my own drive and me seeing such an unfamiliar face in a place where there ought not to be any face." Jasper quickly contemplated running. The man was much older, and his dress was suitable for courtly behavior, not dashing through the bramble and mud. I was picking berries," Jasper raised the half-filled basket up to allow the driver to see the proof of his words. The demeanor of the man suddenly changed. It was a change that Jasper was familiar with. He had many times seen the same stern expressions on the most fiendish bandits melt away when presented with a berry basket. Any suspicions that the driver might have had instantly evaporated, for even the notion of a member of the unholy hounds picking berries seemed farcical. Words are hard, guys, sorry. The softened expression even made allowances for a smile. "Berries, eh? You couldn't have picked a better spot for them, could you? I used to pick berries here as a boy." Jasper took his cue to finally step forward out from behind the bush, proudly brandishing his basket. "I know, and what luck I found them. I've only just started picking, and look how many I have. It would have taken me fourfold the time back home to procure this number." The driver bent down for a closer look. "And where is your home, boy?" "It must be quite far." Jasper replied with a scripted response. "A little south of Tanner Fork, just past the burnt woods." "My God, that is far. You couldn't have come all that way only this morning." It was true. Tanner Fork was in the exact opposite direction that Jasper had traveled. And while that response would seem perfectly reasonable in a location closer to Black Bridge Canyon, he could see why it might seem less believable here. Sir, I have traveled much farther for much less profit. I dare say there is no distance yet made by man that would not be worth undertaking for a puzzle such as these. Surely you have tasted them for yourself. Jasper felt happier with this response as it seemed to amplify the man's smile. In my youth, often. But perhaps I took it for granted because I never had to travel very far. And even then, my father would always drive us here in our carriage, so I'm ashamed I never had to walk such a stretch to earn such an equal reward. It was Jasper's turn to smile. Then let my efforts reward us both today. He raised the basket even higher. A taste in memory of your youth, sir. The driver chuckled and removed one glove, bending over the seat to reach down to the basket. And at the moment his fingers touched the first berry, the dagger in turn met his throat, cutting through a superficial layer of skin and drawing blood. Jasper caught the man's startled eyes. And for that taste, I will have your purse, sir, in memory of my youth. The driver's arm had gone limp, his chin raised and trembling, more frightened than he had ever been before. Whether unable or incapable of speaking, he did not respond to the boy. Perhaps he did not think his job could afford to be engaged in this particular time. Jasper let the basket drop, freeing his other hand to probe the man's pockets. Do not mistake me, sir. I will not kill you if you give me no cause. Though I will admit the thought of taking your carriage and leaving you the indignity of walking appeals to me. Unable to find a purse in the man's coat, Jasper pivoted to search the seat under him. Why have you no purse upon your person? The driver slowly raised his hand cautiously, pointing towards the carriage door behind him. Jasper lowered the knife's edge a small degree to allow the man to speak, which he did in turn, softly. There's a lockbox in the carriage. Well, come down then and grant me the courtesy of sparing your life and binding your hands, a concession, I assure you, of my tender heart, for it would be easier to slit your throat. The man started to comply, slowly lowering himself from the driver's seat of the carriage. Once down, Jasper guided him away from the carriage to a nearby tree where he instructed him to get on hands and knees and put his hands behind his back. Excusing his inexperience, the man indulged Jasper while figuring out how to adequately bind him. A smile and kindness Jasper had seen on the man's face, now more than a distant memory. In their place, cold, dark eyes displaying no emotion. I wonder, should I grant you the same clemency you are showing me? Jasper stopped, surprised by the question, but ignored it, secured the final bindings, and then hastily returned to the carriage. With one hand on the door's handle, he turned back to the man. If there is no lockbox, there will be no clemency. Inside the carriage was surprisingly dusty and unswept, a stark contrast to the elegant and polished golden facade of the exterior. He's a thief! He stole it! It had apparently been many years since a passenger had enjoyed passage in this vehicle. This all but confirmed what Jasper had suspected. The driver of this carriage was not a deliviered servant in the employ of some greater master. Any curiosity that this observation might have further produced was quickly abandoned upon seeing what rested under the carriage's back seat. A large wooden lockbox. Despite its hefty appearance, the box was surprisingly easy to handle. Within a few minutes, Jasper had dislodged it from its hold, and carried it out into the sunlight. Inspecting the box carefully, two observations were made. Totemic symbols found carved on all four sides of the box hinted that the box was very old and likely not created by Orindian hands. It reminded him of artifacts from the old world and was presumably crafted in one of the ancient realms. Secondly, the box was secured by a rusted yet robust padlock and would not open easily without a key. Jasper looked over to see the driver quietly observing him from his indentured position. Do you perhaps have a key you can provide me to open this box? Without emotion, the driver replied, There is no key to that box. Jasper stood up. Easy enough then. He headed over to the nearby rock of sizable dimensions and lifted the stone up, carrying it back to the box. If there was ever a time when that lock had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. With one hit, the stone had completely shattered it. He bent back down and opened the lid. Inside was an effigy, a crude figure chiseled from stone. Without too much deliberation, Jasper bent down, and picked it up, somewhat surprised how heavy it seemed, given how light the box had felt. Having expected to find something more akin to gold or gems, he looked questioningly to the man, hoping to find an explanation. The driver's smile had once again returned. "You are cursed, boy, for deadly is the stone. You have opened that which should never have been opened, and you are cursed." Jasper carried the effigy over to the man and shoved it in front of his face. "What is it?" "That's one." Feeling his disappointment rising to anger now, Jasper tightened his grip on the effigy. "One what, you mumbling agentor? And in God's name, why have you no purse upon your person?" The man did not seem intimidated. "One pace." He paused for effect. 12 more, and you will be dead." He only had a second to flinch before the effigy struck him in the head and put an end to his cryptic ramblings. If there was ever a time when the old man had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. Jasper looked down at the sculpted stone figure, now splattered red. Was it cursed? Was he cursed? He had, of course, heard stories of curses and had never doubted their validity in the past, but now that he was standing face to face with the possibility of being cursed, his mind pleaded with him to be skeptical. And if he was cursed, what difference would the knowledge make? A dozen more paces would not be enough to find another living soul, to say nothing of the chances of procuring a remedy. If he did not move from where he now stood, he could live maybe another 3 or 4 days, maybe more, given the abundance of the nearby berries. A plan that, if we ignore its obvious faults, might provide additional opportunities for help to come along. But what good would that do? To be discovered here, beside a body, stolen goods in hand, bloated from berries and raving about a curse that could very well not be real. No. It would most certainly be better to face one's fate now, take a dozen paces, and see if life goes on. But Jasper found his legs unable to make that first step. His mind was unable to convince his limbs to waste away 1/12 of his life in a single motion. Feeling the desperation sink in, he hopelessly looked about him for a solution. And if, by some stroke of luck, the gods had heard his plea, a miracle materialized before him as he found himself suddenly at the end of a fairy tale. 2 white horses and a carriage of golden trim were beside him, the answer to his immediate prayers. He laughed at his fortune and calculated the short number of paces back to the road. 4. Perhaps only 3 if he jumped. He made a quick survey to see if there was anything he wished to grab before taking the plunge. He thought about removing the driver's fancy coat, as that appeared to be of some value, but the additional risk of undertaking such a task took too great. And so, after a profound breath, he took his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th steps, though they were quite large. Seated now behind the horses, he reached for the reins and suddenly realized that he was still gripping the effigy. If the curse was real, then it would most certainly be better left here. If, on the other hand, the story was fictitious, there might be some appraisal that could be made of the figure. It was, after all, found within a lockbox whose typical function oft secured objects of value. Having witnessed firsthand of the horrors of destitution, Jasper found his mind equally reluctant to allow his mind to let go. If it is cursed, I die. If not today, then tomorrow. And if I die, what care have I? And with that statement said aloud to the horses seemingly, Jasper took up the reins with confidence. Part 2. Below the Black Bridge. Oh my god, this is a long one, guys. Miller awoke to some light nudging from the familiar route. Only one person would have the cheek to awaken her in such ill-mannered fashion. Shaking the sleep from her eyes, she glared up at him in the darkness but did not say a word. He nudged her again, teasingly, and stepped back into the dim. After taking a moment for her eyes to adjust to the darkness of the cave, Miller remembered. She was on 3rd watch today. Quietly collecting her things and wits, Miller turned as she left, waving to her young friend who was more than likely already asleep. She crept through the cavern's main passage, careful to not wake the sleeping bandits around. Like a hero in a book, she often mused. Quietly, she grabbed a bow from the haphazardly formed pile of weapons, shaking the accompanying quiver in the darkness to assess how many arrows it held. She then walked towards the sun-drenched mouth of the cavern, ready to start her shift. Above her, in one of the few trees found in the canyon, Miller could see the ravia was already posted. She waved, and Ravia waved back. Calling out to each other was strictly forbidden. Anything louder than a gesture in the canyon was forbidden. When Miller reached the tree, Ravia lowered a braided rope and pointed to the ground behind her. Miller turned, following the finger, and saw a pail of water resting beside a nearby log. She turned back to Ravia, nodded, and secured the pail to the rope. The pail went up first, and in turn, Miller followed. Ravia reached across to grab the water. Miller leaned back to give her space. There was not much room for maneuvering in this tree post, a necessary concession for the concealment the outpost demanded. Ravia tilted the pail up to her mouth dramatically, illustrating how thirsty she'd been. Miller silently laughed as water poured out, splashing onto Ravia's face. It was a bit too daring and noisy of a joke, and had the others been around, they would have certainly been scolded for the unwarranted sound. But Miller appreciated the effort Ravia took to verbalize the silence of the morning. They had been on third watch together for over a month, and during the speechless time, their friendship had grown into something special. Affection was unsurprisingly scarce among the unholy hounds. She had felt camaraderie before, of course, but intimacy? Never. From their elevated vantage, the girls could see both the concealed entrance of the cavern as well as a clear view of the bridge that spanned across the canyon. Black Bridge was the link between the Gentry lands and the northern mountains, the overpass that connected Oris and Reddington. To the city-faring travelers of the realm, the bridge was an unavoidable crossing. In the day, the task was to ensure that travelers passed by without stopping. At night, the task was to ensure that they do. Like most of her band, Miller preferred the night. The biting glare of the sun might be tolerable to farmhands and bricklayers, but to a cavern-housed bandit, it was a source of constant annoyance. In the day, there was no shroud to conceal her expressions, nor to hide her thoughts. She felt exposed. Ravia touched her elbow and pointed up. Miller, striving to suppress a budding smile, subtly shook her head in response. There were many signs that the unholy hounds used in lieu of words, but the two of them had developed an extended vocabulary. Gestures quietly forged in the shared solitude of their mouths among the branches. She watched as Ravia shifted, placing her palms flat on the floorboards beneath them. Miller knew what she was trying to say, but shook her head a second time. It was often more fun to pretend not to understand. Ravia rolled her eyes and turned away, looking back to the canyon. Squinting through the leaves, the two girls held still, watching it and listening. It was not long until Miller, too, heard the sounds of approach. Ravia held up two bent fingers, and a few moments later, two men emerged from the bridge's southern end. They were dressed in familiar uniform. Long gray coats with black facings, white waistcoats, and black tricorn hats. They belonged to the local patrol, the Blackguard. Although not an everyday occurrence, their presence at Black Bridge wasn't an unusual sight. It typically indicated an important traveler's impending passage across the bridge, information that the girls would promptly relay to their leaders as soon as the coast was clear. But this report, while exciting, was rarely acted upon. In Miller's 5 years in the Holy Hound, he had never once seen a carriage taken in open daylight when the Blackguard was nearby. The men had nearly reached the bridge's north end when Miller heard the horses, faintly at first, but growing louder with each passing moment. Ravia's eyes met Miller's, the same concern mirrored in each other's expressions. This did not sound like the typical carriage, cautiously approaching the bridge to cross. Instead of the familiar crunch of high-road gravels, they heard the harsh clattering of hoofbeats against stone. Both girls quickly redirected their attention downwards, looking through the foliage. The sounds were not coming from the high road, but from the canyon itself. The horses were from below the bridge. In an instant, Miller had knocked an arrow and drawn her bow. Go! Ravia was gone before the word had even left. The whisper had even left Miller's mouth. The young scout was already sliding down the bank below, racing towards the cave. There was no road that ran below the canyon. There was no reason for numerous horses to be approaching their cave. There was only one reasonable conclusion, and both girls had reached it instantly. The base had been compromised. This was a Blackguard attack. The moment the horses came into view, Miller let loose her first arrow. She was surprised to see a carriage. She had expected cavalry. Before she even finished processing that thought, her second arrow was in the air. Without a trail, it would be unthinkable for a carriage to traverse such rough terrain, yet she watched as the wheels jolted over the rocky riverbed. A third arrow was now in flight, and there would be no need for a fourth. The driver slumped over just moments before the vehicle dipped into a small ditch, slamming into an embankment. The force of the sudden halt immediately shattered the front two wheels and catapulted the driver from his seat. Utterly confused now, Miller quickly glanced over her shoulder to see if any horses were also approaching from the rear. Down in the canyon, the entire horde of the unholy hounds came spilling forth from the entrance as if hell itself had suddenly sprung open. The group seemed even more bewildered than Miller, half asleep and tripping over one another in a desperate attempt to engage an unseen enemy in combat. Miller could see Ravia among their number, the only one looking up at her. Her expression was chilling. There would be no need for silent gestures to convey what they both now realized. They had made a mistake. The gang's chieftain, Jeffrey Heartflasher, led the others cautiously approaching the crashed carriage like a suspicious fox would near a baited trap. There were no words exchanged as the group crept forward in customary silence. A dozen or so paces in front of the wreckage lay a far-flung driver, an arrow protruding from his broken body, and beside him, a blood-stained effigy carved from stone. Yep. I thought so. I thought that was him. Miller was inconsolable. Jasper had always been her favorite. He had always shadowed her in the night, clinging to the hems of her every move, the way a child tails behind an older sibling. Tender-hearted, she'd always called him, though deep down she had known that wasn't quite true. His appearance of gentleness concealed a raw, resilient durability that emerged in the most perilous of situations. He had been a flower among the nettles of this cave, but he still had thorns, honed by a grim past and 100 pans of misfortune. They buried him in the darkness, in the back of one of the larger cavern rooms. He was interred with a berry basket and a silk handkerchief that he had always treasured. The mysterious effigy they had found beside him served as a distinguished gravestone, a marker that stood out as somewhat special among the rows of similar swords marking neighboring plots. No one spoke, not even in whispers. There was nothing to say. Welp! They're all fucked, I guess. Miller awoke the next day to a thunderous shaking and rattling of the earth, a far cry from the playful nudges of the previous day. She strained to adjust her eyes, but the choking sting of stirred-up dust caused her to flinch. Panic was also in the air. The sounds of scurried footsteps and clattering feet filled the space around her, but even in alarm, the silence was louder. What was it that sounded so strange? Miller closed her eyes tight and used her feet to guide her along the passage. The whispers around her were getting louder, and intense voices could be heard ahead. Louder speech than she'd ever heard spoken in the canyon. A growing dread grew as Miller approached the mouth of the cave, her eyes now open wide despite the dust. Shouldn't it be day? Miller felt a hand in the darkness, pulling at her. It was Ravia. The two embraced, and Miller did not need to see her to understand. Ravia placed two bent fingers against Miller's cheek, and with that touch against her face, Miller felt the same sinking feeling from the previous day. Two bent fingers confirmed what Miller had suspected. The girls had forgotten to relay one critical piece of information to the others. An hour or so later, the screams began. Blood-curdling cries of hopeless desperation. Captain Fodrick Lee of the Black Guards looked down from the bridge of the canyon to the collapsed entrance of the cave. Ah, he grinned. Now they speak. Welp. So shit. Bookstore. Even though this is a dead end and it marks the end of the day, it's fine. Next will be a new clue, or the history of Orindia. I think we're gonna go with the new clue. I saved the whole coin. I love it. Okay. And with that, that is the end of today. So we are going to call it. So we ended up with another garden villa with 5 green rooms. We reached a total of 28 rooms. Reached rank 7. We took 62 steps and we found 6 items. I'm not even mad that I ended up accidentally ending the day. I just wanted a new book. Money and gems. We're gonna start with a closet, which will give us a key and a gem, which is nice. We will continue with an observatory. And we will get a commissary. Before we enter either of them, though, we still have the outer room to sort. We can choose the shrine, the hovel, or the shelter. I think we'll do the shrine, but we're not going to give them all our money like we did last time. So we'll do 10 pieces. See what that gets us. Blessings of the General. Oh. After you have drafted a red room, if you have at least 5 different ranks containing red rooms, gain 5 gems. Ew. Wish I hadn't done it. God damn, that's horrible. Also, nope, there is nothing that we can fiddle with to draw the flames. So we're gonna move on. So we get a shovel. Also get a salt shaker. Let's see what you have for us. So dead end rooms, apples are more delicious. Rooms with 4 doors are also more common. Pair of chests, key, and the gem. Oh, let's hope we have a sledgehammer today.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Wonderful. We'll do the weight room. Even though this is gonna hurt. We'll do the parlor room and hope we get more gems, even though technically we don't need any more. The box with the most words does not have the gems. Both statements written on the other boxes are false. There is only one true box. Well, we have 2 tries. It was not this one. And it was not this one. It was this one. Okay, moving on. We'll do the attic, actually. Haven't had an attic in a while. Plus, it gives us 8 items. So we've got gems, keys, lockpick kit, the sledgehammer I wanted, another key, a coupon book. Hooray! And the gem. I think that's all 8 items, actually. So we got the sledgehammer, the lockpick, salt, shovel, coupon book. I think we got a key and 2 gems. I think... Oh, no! There was a treasure map, too. Okay. So... on the west side... No, the east side. 5th from the bottom. So one kind of diagonally over from the foundry. We'll do a passageway since we've got 4 keys. Guest bedroom. Because we need the steps. And we'll do the vestibule. So the southmost door is going to be locked. We'll do the cloister here. Nope. Fuck. Okay. We'll have to do the utility closet then. And we'll have to do the locked doors one. Great. Okay, that's good. That saved us. We'll do a security room. So that turned out to be fortunate, placing of the utility closet. And I guess we go back to the vestibule. Turn that off. Rather than trying to tempt fate with those doors, we're gonna go with this one. We're gonna do a bedroom. It'll give us 2 additional steps and a reroll. Which we're gonna immediately use. Well, this is a failed run. That's... Because we have 6 keys, we can try these doors. So this will be a dead-end room, I think. We have more than 2 hallways, so unfortunately it doesn't pop. I really was not thinking when I chose that blueprint. Not that that's gonna help me, because we're essentially done here. Oh, GG. I'm not even concerned about what was in the 2 chests at the front of the house. It was not a good run this time. So we got a total of 19 rooms, with 4 being the highest rank. We took 39 steps and we found 8 items. Oh, right. I hadn't picked up my allowance yet. I was thinking, what the fuck? Where did my money go? We'll start... You know what? We're gonna start with the guest room here. No, I have not learned my lesson. We continue with the breakfast nook. We're gonna go with the den here. I think we're gonna go with the shelter. Try this time lock safe again. So today is the 17th. And radiation monitor. Still pretty low. We're good. And it's currently 8 o'clock. Cool. We'll link up by using... Nope, we don't have any coins, so we can't do that. So we'll link up by the pantry, actually. And we can actually do the classroom. Well, actually, you know what? We're going to do the boudoir, because that gives us 2 additional gems. And we'll do a corridor here. Now we will do the courtyard. See? Rewarded. Kind of. Because, oh, there is a lockbox. but nothing to open it with, and no shovel. From here, I think we will do a workshop, because that makes the most sense. Ah! Stand corrected. Say hello to my little friend. We don't have enough for that, so we're going to go with the spare room. We're going to leave that for now. Ashy smashy. Silver key. Ass. From here, we're going to go with the chapel. You're sheltered from its effects. We'll do security room here. Ah, there we go. So we're going to do key card. Set it to low. Change to unlock. So now all we need to do is find a utility room and we'll be able to deactivate that door. Ask and you shall receive. Et voila. We'll do a parlor. Sadly, that blocks off a door from the foundry, but that's fine. Only one box next to this box is false and it contains gems. Okay. Only one box next to this box is false and it contains gems. Wow, game, really? Bitch. We'll do the rumpus room here. For the coin. Not for the exposition, sadly. We'll do a dining room. Let me guess, these doors are going to be locked? Yep, that's one locked. Oh, this one is not locked. Okay. Yeah, we'll do a library. Okay, it's dinner time. Okay, new clue will be the next one that we... Oh, and it was written by Mommy. By Marion Marigold. And that's locked. So we'll have to come back for that. So he takes the dinner. It was dummy. And we got an extra 20 steps out of it. Oh. I'll take the coin, thank you. Right, that door was locked. Cool. So now we're gonna backtrack. We'll do a storage room here, actually. Start building up our collection of keys again. There's nothing else of note here, so we're moving on. We're still gonna backtrack a little bit. We're gonna go back to that spare room and see what we can do beyond there. So from here, we're gonna do the kitchen. Which rewards us for building greenhouses. We don't quite need that just yet, so we're going to leave it. Another key and another gem. Okay, so we're going back up north. Okay, so the next room is going to be the commissary. Actually, before we go in there, though, I'm hoping that we'll pop another bookcase, book room, bookstore, and we did not. That's unfortunate. And they both go down too, so that sucks. So we'll just do a morning room here. And this can be a dead... No, it won't be a dead-end room, unfortunately. We'll do a showroom. So the moon pendant. The silver spoon. We'll do the silver spoon. Oh, can I try the moon pendant? No. Won't give me that big a discount. Fair, I guess. We'll do the dark room since we will be protected from it. Shovel. We shall also do the salt shaker. And we'll also do the sleeping mask. So we have a battery pack, that's good. Well, only way to progress is to do the classroom. But we know what we gotta do. And it's locked. So we're done for today. This was kind of a shitty day, but it's fine. Let's actually see if we can go back and open that damn safe. Didn't even bother looking at the clock. We'll gamble. It's fine. Why won't you open? Oh, it's almost 10. Okay.
1 minute later.
Yep, it's 10 o'clock. Let's go. Yay! Oh, and we've got the 7th letter. Dear Uncle, the disappearance of my cousin Mary has long sat unfavorably with me and my father, and I will freely admit to you that the chilling airs of indifference you may have felt in my presence can be attributed entirely to the suspicion that I have harbored for these past years. Suspicions entirely aimed at yourself. And while I have never had the opportunity to prove it, I felt very strongly that you had some deeper involvement in those events 4 years ago. The circulating rumors of those months did nothing but further and reinforce my convictions in this fact. Those of us that are once bitten are twice shy, and I am aware of the cost my aggressively aloof behavior has had on the social standing of our family. I do not apologize for my actions, though I am now willing to admit that the conclusions I reached may have been flawed. Last week, I had a confidential conversation with one of our mutual acquaintances, a conversation that has shed more light on this mystery than all of my father's countless fruitless inquiries over the years. I now have reason to believe that you are in fact responsible for smuggling my cousin under cover of night across the red border to the southern seafront, and I believe this may have occurred in September, a full 7 months after she was reported missing, a date that coincides not with her public disappearance in February, but instead with the notable theft of the ruby crown. If the Blackwater insurgents are in fact responsible for the heist, as some have claimed, I believe this scenario entirely plausible. And the fact that 2 of the crown's 8 rubies have now surfaced has given me renewed optimism that she is still alive. Alive, safe, and finally free. Perhaps my willingness to accept such sensational news betrays my own desperation. Desperation for answers, desperation for hope, and desperation for a narrative in which you are not the villain. In that distant land we all dream of, the land where the straggling crimson curtains draped across our sky are pulled back, and the windows and shutters of discontent fly wide open. In that distant land, I pray one day to find Marion safe, happy, and absolved. Courtney. And now we have 5 letters. So the pieces are kind of putting together. So Mom seems to have disappeared from the public eye of February, but she actually disappeared in September. Interesting. But on that note, we're going to call it a day. So we had the east-facing villa with 27 rooms. We reached rank 8. We took 83 steps, and we found 5 items. And we also picked up another red letter. Get some more money. We'll start off with the breakfast nook. Pick up that yummy goodness. Oh, and a coupon book. Nice. We'll also do the den from here. But we're gonna go back and open the other two doors. We'll make this one a utility closet. And we'll make this one a hallway. And we are going to... We're going to do the roots. Yeah, we're going to do the root cellar today. Oh. Search continues. Author and illustrator whose fanciful stories named Marion Marigold was last seen by a blank Friday getting into a carriage after a late. No sign has been found yet. Okay. I don't know why that water is there. Pick up another key. And we'll go with the rumpus room because that'll give us more coin. And we'll do a bedroom here. No extra items. And we'll do a storeroom here. Very nice. And we have more dig spots, so we know where to find those. And from here, we'll do a classroom. You shall get the apple. We'll do a... we can do a redraw. Yeah, we'll do a redraw. We'll do a chapel. It's fine. We'll do the east wing hallway. And we'll do a parlor room for that one. But we'll come here. And open these doors as well. I will do a corridor here. And we'll do a conference room. Conference room is always good in that fact that it's got 3 doors. And if we do spread rooms afterwards, we benefit because then we don't have to go running around. We'll do a billiard room here. Okay. Grabbing my puzzle thing. So 20. So the answer here is 12. And the result here is 1. And the answer here is 3. And we have keycard. So we don't even have to set the thing off this time. We'll do a pantry to lead us back into the den. We'll do a courtyard. Where we find the metal detector. Thanks, game. That leads up. We'll do down first. So then we can do a dead end room. Yeah, we'll do a guest room here. And we'll do the workshop here. Hello, Sledgehammer. Nice to see you again. We'll do the garage because this will give us 3 keys. I thought that was a shovel. Will this take us beyond? So that'll take us back that way. I'm right, because that's the gate. Okay. Okay, so back down and around up to the conference room it is. We'll do the security room here. Oh, there's a coin. And because we have the security key card, we're going to set the security doors to high. From here, we're going to do the commissary. I see it. Very nice, very nice. We don't have enough gems for that one, sadly, so we have to do the spare room here. Okay, so what did I miss? I don't see anything, game. I hate this thing some days. You're making me waste steps. Stop it. Fuck it. I'll see it when, on the way back, if it is applicable. Okay. So, dog is mundanity. The lion is envy. Juan is lust. Penguin is gluttony. Bear is sloth. The elephant is wrath. Come on. Thank you. The rabbit is hubris. The monkey is Erebus. Nope, that's not right. Okay. Okay. The monkey is actually hubris. My bad. I get this wrong every time. So, 32 gold each day now. Okay. Yeah, we can do the pool room. Oh. Do the gymnasium, since I've already prepped it. Seriously though, where the fuck? What the fuck am I not seeing? Oh, it's right there. Got it. Thanks, game. We'll do the aquarium. We'll do a library here. Ooh. Ah, the new clue. Got it. Yep, so yesterday was the 18th. Okay, that's why. Okay. But either way, I opened it, so we're fine. A new clue. All he needed was to find a new clue. If he found a new clue, he'd know what to do. If he knew what to do, he'd likely tell you, for you are looking for a new clue too. He had retraced his sketches and studied the files, reviewed all his cases and gone through the piles of the evidence present and precedents evident, and retraced his steps as it stretched on for miles. He had looked high and low in all of the rooms. He had searched every corner in each of the tombs. In this particular case, he had checked every space. If he found a new clue, he'd know what to do. He looked and he looked under beds and in nooks. He questioned the maids, he questioned the cooks. It was already over when he spoke to the chauffeur, who told him new clues were found only in books. So tome after tome that the library loaned, and the books that he had that he already owned, were searched from their covers all the way through. If he found a new clue, he'd know what to do. He changed all the letters and the lines that he found. He checked all the colors of the spines that were bound. He doubled the meaning of each seasonal greeting and found that the diction of each word was sound. He stayed up all night and studied the map. He laid out the floor plans and measured the gaps. And if his inventory was considered trajectory, it was nothing short of full metal lamps. A man obsessed and cuckoo too, they would say as he would wander through. The best medicine is not yet evidence. If he found a new clue, he'd know what to do. And having read this book so many times, having scoured over each of its cryptic lines, have you exhausted your search? Have you seen all the signs? Or is there perhaps something new, something overlooked but now in view? Have you finally found it? Could it really be true? If it's a new clue, you know what to do. Interesting. So the book itself is a clue, but it's rather cryptic, so I don't know what to do. In contrast to what the book says. Okay. We'll do the laundry room here. Not that I'm actually going to use it. But there is something here. Ah, another key. So we're going to backtrack to the gymnasium and open those two doors. One of which is a security door, so we'll actually be able to use the security card. Oh, two of them are. Even better. Okay, we don't have any gems, so we can't use that one. But we can use the morning room. And we can use the lock. No, we can't because we don't have enough. We don't have any gems. Why does this keep happening? I should have come in here first. That's what I should have done. I should have come in here first. No, we have 4 hallways. We're gonna reroll. We're gonna use the candle, and then that is GG for this round. Oh my god, all of the dig sites here. So we got the garden jigsaw house with 4 green rooms and 4 puzzle rooms. We had a total of 34 rooms. We reached rank 9. We took 55 steps and we found 18 items. Well, there it is. We'll start with the breakfast nook. We'll go with the den here and the hallway. Yeah, we'll do the shelter because we get a free gem now. Could have done the schoolhouse, but it's fine. So we'll take breakfast and a key. We'll do the chapel. We'll open this door just to see what it'll be. Well, it's gonna block off the hallway, unfortunately. So we'll do a closet. Ooh, metal detector and a key. We shall do We'll do the close. No, we won't do the closed exhibit, actually. Well, actually, yeah, we'll do the closed exhibit. I know it'll take up... I just realized it's security doors. Fuck. Well, fucked up that side. Okay, moving on. We won't discuss this.
Wait, didn't you?
Give him a minute.
We'll do the bedroom. Gives us more coin. We'll do a kennel. We will do a commissary. Hopefully we'll pick up a shovel. Yes, we can. Thank you. We'll also do a magnifying glass. Just because I know we have to, like, build the thing that causes the torches so that we can go down back to the Underdark and, like, turn on the lights and shit. We'll do a spare room from here. And we'll do a pantry from here. And we can afford the courtyard, so let's do it. That takes us to the foundry, but let's open this door first. We gotta do the passageway, unfortunately. Now, because of the kennel, because we're digging, both of these doors should actually be unlocked now. Okay, I guess the logic doesn't work like that. Fuck you too, game. How does the kennel work? Each time you dig in a room, unlock all doors in that room. Okay, so then what the fuck? This is a room. So that should have actually unlocked it. Okay, can't do that one, so... we'll do the utility closet. Ah, in here. Cool. Okay. The second statement on the black box is false. The black box contains the gems. Every statement with the word blue is false. Both statements on the blue box are true. There's only one statement on the blue box. The blue box contains gems. Well, we've got two, so we can take a look. That one says the blue box has the gems. And then this one says the black box has the gems. So let's try the black box first. And the black box is the one with the gems. Cool. We shall do the dining room. Which has a gem for us. Cool. We will do the observatory here. What has you got for us today? So, Southern Cross, 4 doors are, like, rooms with 4 doors are more common today. We've got the 5 gems. We've got an extra key. Today is a sale day, and farmer's apples are delicious. Cool. So technically, I could have gotten the shovel for cheaper, which is unfortunate, but it's whatever. It's fine. We're gonna go with the rotunda. That door's boarded off. That's fine. I think we're gonna do the cloister. And I think we have the... we did the hovel today, didn't we? Okay. In that case, walk-in closet. No, we did the shelter. Fuck. Ah! Second guessing myself. I actually meant the root cellar, but that was yesterday. We could have used the weight room, taken advantage of the 4 doors, and then not lost half our steps. Probably a good idea to save it anyway. Hopefully, if we'll get the archive room, and then that just negates that. Like so. Not ideal a spot for it, but sheltered. Making sure there's nothing else in here. So that room's boarded up, that door's boarded up, so it's just this door. Now we can do the weight room. What? But it's... Oh, I had 3. Fuck. Well, shit. Oh, wait a minute. Were those rooms... Those rooms were open, weren't they? Shit. I'm so dumb. What? We'll do the locked doors, but I'm not going through it just yet. And we'll do the security room. System. That's low. We can't afford the vestibule, so one door for the Great Hall will end up being a dead end, unfortunately. Because we need the steps, we'll take the guest room. And because we don't have, well, we could, yeah, we're gonna do the boiler room, actually. It's fine. Hey, it's dinner time! We will do a gallery here. Then we're gonna backtrack. It's pizza! We could have gotten an extra 20 steps if I picked the furnace, but I didn't want to. Oh, let's unlock this door. The mechanarium. That's a room I haven't done before, so we'll take a look at it in a minute. In a minute, we have another key. Got 2 more gems. The number 8 key, which is also important. Because once again, we can upgrade our allowance. Thank you. Okay, so this goes down. So we will do the clock room. So I'm going to read this first. Southward, I see a swan, ashen like sands of the shore, carried by westerly winds, rogue like the moon to the north. Eastward, I see a crow, dark are the days coming forth. Okay. So was that item a one-time thing? Oh, there's a coin there. Damn, that thing reaches far-reaching. Jesus Christ. So let's try the mechanarium, see what happens when we go in there. So 3 doors. Oh. Very nice. That'll take us to another room. So we will do the kitchen. We'll go in there in a minute. And we will do the dark room. And tomato soup. Of course. Might as well reward ourselves. And then this will be the library. Sadly, we don't have the history of Ordinia, the actual first edition yet. But we shall. Aha, I win. I may not get whatever item you had hosted, but I win. So you can stay dark, asshole. Now we're gonna go back down and around to the closed exhibit and see if we can open those doors. We should be able to. I mean, I turned off the power, but even still. I mean, we could technically do this way. Oh, basement key doesn't work. We'll do a conference room here. Take the key. Take all of the coin. That's the lever for that door. Spend a key to get a key. Oh, that's a dead end. That is also a dead end. That's unfortunate. Okay. And that's also a dead end. Okay. We will do the west wing. That opens up into the weight room. We'll block off that door. Oh, we can't? We'll do a storeroom. Ironically, I get more keys, but I can't open that door anymore because it no longer exists. Room of mirrors is pointless there. We'll do the billiard room. We'll gamble for more puzzles. So the first one is going to be 2. And the solution here says it's 15. And then 18. And this one says the solution should be 4. Wait. And we got 2 more keys. Cool with that. And we'll go with the morning room, because we haven't had one yet. And this will give us more gems. Garage key. Cool. Ah. Yeah, we can afford a key. Wait. We'll go up to the weight room, because we're going to go back to the conference room. Open that last room. Shits and giggles, let's, go with the patio. Ah! Yeah, we did that one already. We know. You know what that one is. Thanks, game. Okay, so now we're going to backtrack all the way down to the closed exhibit to open that final door. We're going to hope that it's going to be a freezer, because if it's a freezer, then we can hold the 9 gems and the 53 coin over for tomorrow. Yeah, they were opened. So we didn't get what I wanted, but we can do the vault. Not that it's really going to matter. And today is Friday, February 19th. There we go. Okay, and with that, we are done for the day. So we managed to make the garden museum with 4 green rooms, a gallery, and a closed exhibit. We made a total of 43 rooms. We reached rank 9. We took 101 steps. We found 16 items, and we found a new room, which I believe was the mechanarium. 34 is still nothing to sneeze at. We'll start with the bedroom. We'll continue with the... We'll get the chapel out of the way. And we'll go with the nook. And we'll do the tomb. Oh, we've got the coin purse. That's cool. We're gonna block off one of the access ways to the corridor with the, or, you know what I mean, with the chapel. That's unfortunate. Traded a coin to get a gem. Of course, our bacon and eggs. Continue back to the bedroom. We will do the observation room because that's the only way to progress. Dead-end rooms are more common today. Green rooms are more likely to give flowers, and there's a sale. That's always nice. Bookstore? No. But we will do a morning room. We have the garage keys. We're gonna go with commissary because again, that's the only real way for us to progress. We'll take the compass. We'll take a shovel. Take a sledgehammer. And we'll take the salt shaker. We will go with the laboratory. Nope, there is nothing of note here. Yeah, nothing of note. Nothing we ever read, anyway. So, experiments. Each time you unlock or bypass a security door, do that, and we'll add a small chest to the entrance hall. Sadly, we have to do the dark room. Means we is now gambling. Ah! Now we really gambling. Well, that costs 3. The vault. Oh, good news is we have lots of money now. That's unfortunate. We'll do the boiler room. And yeah, we have to. We don't have enough, so we have to do the archive. Of course, it's the furnace. Well, good news is we have a security card, so there's that, I guess. I think the other dark room door was blocked by it, so we'll go back and do that. Let's gamble some more, shall we? Well, I have no gems, so... I mean, it's not the worst thing that could have happened. Boudoir. We need more gems. Clearly, we need more gems. That requires 3 gems. Well, fuck me, I guess. Good news is if I find an office, I can actually, do payroll and pick up something over here. We'll do a conference room here. We'll do a drafting studio. That's the Great Hall planning for February 20th. Okay, so this will give us the answers pretty much. So we can choose the solarium, You are more likely to draw unusual or rare rooms while drafting. The dormitory, every time you enter a room after drafting a draft room, gain 10 steps. And dovetail, whenever you draw a dovetail while drawing, you may rotate floor plans. I think we'll do that one. Or dovecote, rather. A towering loft serving home to many of the feathered locals of Mount Holly. As a devout birdwatcher and amateur ornithologist, Mary had petitioned her uncle for years for this to be built on the estate. Well, I mean, that solves that now, doesn't it? And locked. Okay. So we're boned. Well, that was kind of a disaster. We crafted the red villa, which grants 6 red room based on the fact that we crafted 6 red rooms. We did a total of 24 rooms. We reached rank 8. We took 39 steps and we found 3 items. So, GG game. GG.